Howdy folks, I'm Peckish Piazza, pragmatically plundering pepperoni pizzas.
I'm Amber.
And what else are you supposed to do as a Thunderbird other than plunder pepperoni pizzas? It would be what I would do, and it is what I do. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Buying My Long-Distance Girlfriend a Countertop Dishwasher for her birthday instead of something more quote-unquote sentimental? So I'm a 32-year-old male, and I've been seeing this girl, a 32-year-old female, long distance since May. Her birthday is November 5th, and I'm planning something really nice. I'm flying her down to see me, and we're doing Niagara Falls and a bunch of local stuff in the Toronto area, and going out for a nice dinner on her actual birthday. Here's the thing. She's a single mom with 3 kids, and every time we talk, she's stressed out about the dishes piling up and how much of a mess the kids make. She mentioned several times that she misses having a dishwasher and it adds a lot of stress to her day-to-day. So for her birthday, I thought that I would do something thoughtful and useful, and I measured her counter space without being obvious about it, and I ordered her a countertop dishwasher. It costs around $450, and I genuinely thought that she would love it and it would make her life easier. The package arrived a couple of days early, and she called me to say thanks, but then told me that in the future she would prefer something less practical and more sentimental, even if it costs less, and said that it's fine and appreciates the effort, but next year she would want something more personal. I'll be honest, that really stung. I put a lot of thought into this, trying to solve something that clearly stressed her out. And it's not like I got her a vacuum or socks. I thought that this would help her. Now I just feel unappreciated and kind of embarrassed. I'm even second guessing if I want to keep putting in this kind of effort if that's the response. So Reddit, am I the jerk for buying my girlfriend a practical gift instead of something more sentimental? Alright folks, what do you think?
I mean, this one, I think, does, first of all, does the girlfriend know there are other things that go along with this gift?
Yeah.
Or does she think it's just the
Yeah.
dishwasher? I think that, because it sounds like Opie has all kinds of things planned out, but the birthday hasn't happened yet, and she may only know about the dishwasher. And, like, even if that's a practical, people don't want appliances for their birthdays. Like, Opie's like, oh, I didn't get her a vacuum cleaner. This is on the same level of as a vacuum cleaner. It may be useful. Vacuum cleaners can be very useful, too. But they are not generally good gifts because people want something a little indulgent. They want something that doesn't feel like a chore.
Yeah, well, I think that's the biggest thing here is that as long as OP actually got her something besides the dishwasher, I think that this would be a really thoughtful gift all in all. And the fact is that OP did get her something aside from the dishwasher. He got her a dishwasher that she really needs. And is using the birthday as kind of like an excuse, but also he's getting her this trip that's very sentimental, right? Like that's where somewhere that they're going to be able to build memories and have a good time out. And maybe that's not a physical gift, but I still think that a trip can be a gift, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that OP actually didn't do anything wrong in this particular case. This is a rare case of buying an appliance isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as it isn't the only thing that you're getting them. And like also OP's not the one who's making the messes around their house and everything. So it's not like he's saying, oh, instead of me helping you around the house, I'm going to get this dishwasher so that you can do more chores and lucky you type of thing, right?
Sure. Although I would say OP is being a bit clueless here. And I don't think there's anything wrong with her expressing that she doesn't want appliances in the future.
Sure.
You know, I understand he is hurt, but I think he's reacting a little too harshly to her here because I think, you know, she was trying to explain that while this is useful, she wants something sentimental, something that feels like a gift and not a dishwasher. And I think he's taking that a little too hard.
I do think he's taking it a little hard, but I can understand his frustration, especially since it sounds like this is something that she's really been complaining about for a long time, and her life is a whole lot harder because she doesn't have a dishwasher. So I think that OP really had the right spirit here. I can understand her and him having like a different, maybe not seeing eye to eye on this, and that's just going to be work that couples have to do to see, you know, and understand each other, right? And so in that respect, I mean, I think like, yeah, he does need to do a little bit better job of understanding where she's coming from here, but also I understand what he's saying here, and I think that his gift is actually a really thoughtful gift in a lot of ways. Again, because it's not the only thing in the gift. If it was the only thing that he got her, then I would be like, Yeah, you shouldn't just get someone an appliance for their birthday or something like that, right? But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. The centrifuge.
I mean, I think the wheel is going a little far here.
The wheel's like, no.
I mean,
no utility or appliances.
I mean, the wheel does have a good point that it is generally not a good idea to get, appliances for people's birthdays. And, I might agree with the wheel under other circumstances, but I think, no, that's too far.
And Glass Unusual 9748 says, you're the jerk. For her birthday, you bought her a dishwasher. Yes, it's useful, and maybe it was expensive, but getting a woman an item for cleaning on her birthday is a little tacky. Was it the only thing that you bought her? And Riplins says, she's getting a trip to Niagara Falls. What more do you want? And Glass Unusual 9748 says, to be honest, it feels like a lot for a 5-month relationship. A $450 gift and a vacation. Well, again, we don't know what OP's financial situation is. But yeah, it is a lot for a 5-month relationship. And Purple Shallot 3731 says, not really, considering it's a long-distance relationship. OP isn't exactly putting a lot of time and money in otherwise. She also said that she would have accepted a less expensive gift. She's probably going to be on the hook for finding and paying for childcare for that trip too. I asked if he factored that in, or if she has a heads up that she's going to need to find childcare, and I haven't gotten a response.
Oof.
And OP replies, her 3 children are with their dad for the week-long trip that she's coming down. 3-night stay in a hotel in Toronto. 2 nights at Niagara Falls with a couple of outings planned, including the zoo, some nightlife, and a dinner at her favorite restaurant in the Falls the actual night of her birthday, for clarification. So it sounds like childcare is all considered at this point.
That's important. That is very important.
It also sounds like she already knows that she's going on this trip too. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Asking My Girlfriend to Stop Using My Expensive Shampoo? I'm a 29-year-old male and I have scalp psoriasis and I use a medicated shampoo prescribed by my dermatologist. It's a pricey $45 a bottle, and my girlfriend, a 27-year-old female, recently moved in and I noticed the shampoo disappearing fast. When I asked, she admitted that she's been using it because it makes her hair shiny. I told her it's not regular shampoo and that I need it for treatment. She said that I was gatekeeping soap and being dramatic. After the 3rd time, I bought a lockable shower caddy. Now she's mad, saying that I don't trust her. Am I the jerk for locking up my own shampoo? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. You need this shampoo for a very specific... Not that... First of all, even if this was not medical shampoo, OP would still have a right to their own possessions. But the fact that, on top of that, this is something they need medically, that adds to her jerkiness. This is OP's shampoo that is prescribed to them. You don't take other people's prescriptions.
Well, that's just it. And also, what are the negative side effects of using this shampoo too, right? There might actually be side effects for somebody who doesn't have scalp psoriasis. And so she should be cautious because you don't use medicated shampoo without understanding all the side effects of that, right? So I think that what she's doing here is actually maybe even dangerous. So, no, I don't think that OP's wrong for locking up their expensive shampoo because OP's asked them not to use it, and she just continues to use the shampoo without OP's permission. She needs to find a shampoo with a similar formula that's not medicated, right? And maybe then she'll be able to have her shiny hair. I understand the frustration, maybe this is a really good shampoo for her, but she can't be taking OP's prescription medication without, period, right? That's just not something they should be doing. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Mistress Jacqueline Hyde says, not the jerk, it's a medication for you. No one else should be using it. Of course you don't trust her. You asked her not to use it and she still did. And Existing Hunt 4858 says, yeah, she ignored what you told her directly, and that's where the trust broke. If someone uses your medication after you've made it clear not to, that's not a misunderstanding. That's disregard. And Additional Lead 3616 says, she sounds unkind and quite possibly like she doesn't respect you. A normal person would have apologized and stopped using it without insulting you. And Chandrith says, not the jerk. You aren't gatekeeping anything. You're keeping your medication from being misused. And Living Stable 85 says, it's literally your prescription. Protecting it isn't a mistrust, it's common sense. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Taking My Niece's gift back after she opened them without asking, which led to her losing all of her birthday gifts. On Monday, my husband and I went to a birthday dinner for our niece who was turning 11. Afterwards, we went back to brother-in-law's and sister-in-law's house for cake and presents. We had the cake and the adults were having coffee and chatting, while my niece and her brother played in the other room. I didn't realize how late it was getting, but finally went in to give my niece her presents. When I did, I found out that she had opened them and was reading one of the books I got her, and I was shocked and asked why she had taken them out of my purse. She immediately looked embarrassed and apologized, but said that we were taking so long and that they were poking out of the top. I told her that that was no excuse, and I took the presents back. She teared up some, but seemed to understand. My husband, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law came into the room and asked what was going on, and I told them. Immediately, sister-in-law starts yelling at my niece, telling her to go to her room, and saying that they were taking away the gifts that they gave her that morning. Niece apologized again and runs up to her room sobbing. My husband tries to talk his sister-in-law down and is looking at me for help, but I back sister-in-law up. Brother-in-law, husband's brother, is pretty quiet for the whole thing. At home, my husband told me that I was wrong to make such a thing out of it and that I should have tried to defend our niece. His arguments are, 1, our niece has never done anything like this before, which is true. She usually is very polite and respectful. Her parents are strict and don't play around with this kind of stuff. 2, we were taking a long time to get to gifts, and he says that looking back, a lot of the night was spent on the adults and not my niece, which again may be true. 3, it was her birthday. In her eyes, we could have handled it quietly and talked to her about not doing it again, especially as she apologized. And my perspective is that while all the above may be true, it may be a hard lesson that she has to learn. She's 11, not 2. Her brother is younger than her and has never tried this either, so it's a good lesson to him as he witnessed it. The next day, our niece sent us a handwritten apology letter, and now I'm starting to feel like maybe I went too far. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, OP, you're definitely the jerk here. It would have been one thing to have a little talking to with her to tell her that that's not appropriate behavior and she shouldn't do that again. But to take away her gifts and blow this whole thing out of proportion. This was her birthday, and you all spent the night ignoring her, leaving her with just her brother to play with.
Yeah, and also, what kind of birthday party is this where it's just her and her brother and the parents?
Yeah, well, it's just her and her brother sitting by themselves while the adults all talk in the other room.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for this poor kid. It sounds like they have a really strict upbringing. And, sure, she shouldn't have gone through OP's get purse, right? But it doesn't sound like she actually went through the purse. It just sounds like she saw the present sticking out of the top and then went and opened it. And, yeah, she's 11. She made a poor decision. But taking away all of her birthday presents?
Well, that's it. Everyone is acting like she's some huge criminal. These were gifts for her. Yes, she opened them early, but she didn't take anything that wasn't intended for her.
And it seems like this was the first time that she's ever done anything like this, too.
Yeah,
right?
and they're just coming down, they're bringing the hammer down on this poor girl.
Yeah. And so I think that she's going to really remember this birthday, but for all the wrong reasons, right? This is going to be imprinted on her mind forever. But, I mean, she isn't going to remember it fondly, and she isn't going to look back with it with any kind of, yearning or anything like that, right?
Right. So there's still time to rectify this, OP. I think that you really need to have a talk with your niece and apologize to her for how you reacted and explain that you overreacted. Try and smooth things over as best as you can, because this was complete overreaction from both you and sister-in-law.
Agreed. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Shara Mom 4 says, all the adults but your husband here are the jerk. You all made her birthday about you and your socialization and then threw a fit when she opened her own gifts and was enjoying them, since that wasn't a priority of any of you. Your sister-in-law sounds borderline abusive, and you played right into it with your own behavior. And your husband is still a bit of a jerk here because he didn't immediately tell you and your sister-in-law to grow up and stop your behavior. And Common Parsnip 9682 says, yeah, I feel sorry for this kid. She gets to spend her 11th birthday playing quietly while the grown-ups chat over coffee. What fun. And then when she turns into an absolute hooligan and opens one of her presents and starts reading it, all of her presents are taken away. Clearly, this kid is a juvenile delinquent.
Yeah, like, can you imagine being upset about a kid sitting there reading quietly?
Well, I could understand being like, hey, it's not good to take something out of someone's purse without asking, right? And like the 11-year-old should have asked, technically, but I mean, also, she's 11. Come on. And here they are, like, withholding the presents from her for this long and everything like that. I don't know. I just feel bad for the poor kid. And Croft Survivor says, you're the jerk. The adults ignored this kid on her birthday, so she opened the gift and sat quietly and then read. Then y'all ganged up on her, and she lost all of her birthday presents. My goodness, do you all hate children?
Yeah.
And Think Attorney 6251 says, you're the jerk. She's 11, it was her birthday, and she immediately apologized when you caught her. Kids get excited about presents. That's normal, not criminal. You embarrassed her in front of her parents, and your reaction set off an even bigger punishment than the situation called for. A simple, calm reminder about boundaries would have been enough. Instead, you turned a sweet moment into something that she'll probably associate with shame for years. She didn't need a hard lesson. She needed a little grace. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber, she has a joke.
How did the clock feel when its friend was late to their meetup?
I think the clock probably felt a little rushed, but maybe also it felt like it was, losing seconds. I don't know. Maybe it was like on a timer. I don't know.
It was ticked.
Oh, it was ticked.
And today is National Waiting is for Barbarians Day, and also Use Your Common Sense Day.
So use your common sense. Waiting is for barbarians. Cut in front of that line at the top. Yes, do exactly that. Lines are for suckers. And I have licorice spice. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Terrific Tuesday, spelled TWO. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice under guidance, and please have it on gifts.
Have a little grace with children and don't take away all their gifts for minor infraction.
Or do the opposite of that. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
It's bad advice, Brian. Bye.
It is very bad advice.